Good evening. I'd now like to call the April 10th, 2018 meeting of the Alexander County Board of Education to order. If you will, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now we will do our pledges, and I would like to ask Carlos McKeithlin Jr. and Jeremiah Joe Brewer to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
There's our flag.
Salute pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, boys.
Thanks, guys. Great job.
Carlos is a first grader at Taylorsville Elementary. He is the son of Carlos McKeithlin Sr. and Tamara Howe. Jeremiah Brewer is a first grader also at Taylorsville Elementary, and he's the son of Katie Brewer. Thank you guys for coming.
They got a ball game. They got to go.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. Board members, you've had an opportunity to review tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Any noes? Thank you, that carries. We'll move along to our honors and recognitions, and I will call on Dr. Jennifer Hefner for that.
Thank you, Chairman Bowman and board members. It's always my pleasure to present the honors and recognitions portion of the board meeting each month. Tonight, we're going to recognize two students recently selected to participate in Governor's School. I would ask that Board Member Brixey, will you help me with these presentations? Sorry, my timing's not good. Lainey Johnson was selected to attend the 2018 session of North Carolina Governor's School West in the area of choral music. In choral music, students must complete a solo performance and a sight singing requirement. Students are required to perform a formal repertoire piece from a 20th century or 21st century composer. Lainey will reside on the campus of Salem College during this experience. She is the daughter of Kevin and Robin Johnson of the Ellendale community. Lainey, would you come up, and Kevin, would you and Robin please stand? Do you want them centered, Renee? Okay, perfect. And stay up here for another one, okay? And Mary, do they call you Emmy? Okay, which do you prefer? Mary, wonderful. Mary Nisley was selected to attend the 2018 session of North Carolina Governor's School West in the area of natural science. The class will investigate how we create, evaluate, and accept or reject scientific theories by replicating the process in classroom discussions and through readings from history and philosophy of science. She will also reside on the campus of Salem College. Mary is the daughter of Trey and Nicole Norton from the Stony Point community. Mary, I would ask that you come up, and Trey, if you and Nicole will please stand for recognition also. Okay, well, do you mind if I continue? I have just a little bit more to say about this experience. The Governor's School of North Carolina is a 5.5-week summer residential program for intellectually gifted high school students, integrating academic disciplines, the arts, and unique courses on each of 2 campuses. The curriculum focuses on the exploration of the most recent ideas and concepts in each discipline and does not involve credit, test, or grades. North Carolina's Governor's School is the oldest statewide summer residential program for academically or intellectually gifted high school students in the nation. The program is open to rising seniors only, with exceptions made for rising juniors in selected performing and visual arts areas. The Governor's School program is located on 2 campuses, accepting up to 325 students each. Governor's School West at Salem College in Winston-Salem began in 1963, and Governor's School East at Meredith College in Raleigh began in 1978. The program is administered by the Public Schools of North Carolina, the State Board of Education, and the Department of Public Instruction through the Exceptional Children's Division. A Board of Governors appointed by the State Board of Education acts as an advisory body. I would ask that everyone again congratulate Lainey and Mary. I hope this is truly a wonderful experience for you this summer. Should have made this lined up, so put that A in between the 2 of you. There we go.
Congratulations, Lacey.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Very proud of both of you.
Now is our time for public comment. Do we have anybody signed up? Okay. I have a list of procedures I'll read first, then we will start that. Each person signed up to speak will have 3 minutes to speak on his or her comments. Each person signed up to speak will only be entitled to the time allotted for them. The time may not be replenished to another speaker. Only one spokesperson will be allowed to speak for the group of individuals wishing to address the board at the same issue. Speakers will be acknowledged by the board chairman in the order in which their names appear on the sheet. Speakers will address the board from the front of the room and begin their remarks by stating their name. Comments that are deemed obscure, profane, or personal attacks on the board or school employees will cause for the ending of a particular speaker's time determined by the board chairman. The public comment to the board period is not intended to require the board to answer any questions. Speakers will address all comments to the board as a whole and not one individual board member. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Speakers will refrain from discussion of any of the following items which are closed session matters, including but not limited to the attorney-client privilege, anticipated or pending liquidation, property liquidation, or comments about specific employees or students in open session. This is in accordance to the GS 115C-321 and open meeting law. Speakers will be courteous in their language and presentations. And tonight we have Todd Milstead. And Todd, if you'll come up to the podium, you can start.
Okay, I'm just going to read from my notes because I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. My name is Todd Milstead, and I'm here this evening to speak about the National Walkout for Gun Control on March 14th that Alexander Central High School participated in. It was brought to my attention by my son and others that a fire drill was created to allow Alexander Central High School staff and students to participate in the National Walkout. My initial reaction to this was a feeling of betrayal from our school system. Why would any authority figure in our school system deceive the students and parents this way? What would make any school official think that it was ethically right to use the disguise of a fire drill to achieve a political stand without reprimand? Our schools are not a platform for politics and its agendas, no matter what. I contacted Mr. Shrum and expressed my concerns and was told that he was unaware of this and would investigate its nature, but I should contact Doug Roney. So I contacted Doug Roney and I asked him who the person was that thought this would be a good idea to disguise this fire drill for the walkout. Doug Roney said that it was his idea, and when I asked if he got permission to execute this fake fire drill, he said he informed the superintendent that he was going to do this, but did not need permission. He also tried to explain that nothing was mentioned about gun control and that they had only held a moment of silence while naming names and releasing balloons. At that point, I knew the fake fire drill was purposefully planned to participate in conjunction with this national walkout for gun control. I ask you, the school board, did they actually have a fire drill? Did they perform the head count? Did they walk the halls? Did they actually have a fire drill? And why was these balloons and stuff purchased and prepared for this if it was a true fire drill? I'll answer that for you, ladies and gentlemen. It was not an actual fire drill, but a way for administration to allow students to participate in this national walkout without consequences of leaving their classrooms and learning environment without permission. It was a loophole planned and created by Doug Roney to allow students, the faculty, to participate.
You cannot use employees' names. Sorry.
Okay. But it was conspired and manipulated by a mandatory requirement of the fire drill, but purposefully negated the civil rights and rights of choice to those students who would not have participated in the national walkout if given the option. For these reasons, I'm asking for an investigation into this fake fire drill and reprimands be made accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, board members, you had opportunity to review the consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say yay.
Okay. Yay.
Any noes? The motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to reports, and tonight we have Janelle Engel from Taylorsville Elementary School.
Good evening, Chairman Bowman and Dr. Hefner. I'd like to thank you both and the members of the board for the opportunity to stand in front of you tonight, well, sort of stand, to give you a brief update about what's been happening at Taylorsville in the last year. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have, including how I got myself in this predicament that I'm in today at the end of my presentation. The slides I have for you tonight will include a few highlights of our year along with a spotlight on the focus and strategies that we have in place to reach our goals. The staff at Taylorsville Elementary, pictured before you, is one of the most hardworking and focused that I've ever had the pleasure to work beside of. They have strong professional relationships with each other, and their work during POCs, early release planning days, and with their instructional coach, Kelly Teese, is the reason for our success. They support each other while they have high expectations for themselves, their students, and me as their leader. The data speaks for itself. Last year at this time, I spoke to you about the push, the next step after we had that tremendous year of growth 2 years ago. Our school has made great progress, and our students have made great progress. And in celebrating those accomplishments of last year, we held the line of excellence, meeting growth, with an overall grade of B. We are very proud of our math achievements, being at core with 81% proficient. And we are also proud of our school composite of 70% proficient. We feel that we are knocking on the door this year of reaching core in both reading and math. I feel very confident. Our science scores, which took a little dip last year, as you see there, will also reflect positive growth this year that naturally comes with teacher experience in the classroom, and also strong mentoring by our veteran teachers. We have addressed those concerns this year, and I feel very confident in that. Yes, we celebrate how proud we are and how far we've come, but we cannot be satisfied with that. The academic focus for Taylorsville in 17-18 centers around 3 words: intentional, explicit, and repetitive. We're continuing to push our students with intentional, explicit, and repetitive learning-focused strategies. As a district, you all know that we are participating in a professional development called Learning Focused Schools. Our data shows that we have many great strategies in place at Taylorsville already. Thankfully, Taylorsville, as well as other schools in our county, have been allowed to tailor this learning-focused PD to enhance what we were doing already and to meet the needs of our students currently. We're doing that through the use of essential questions, graphic organizers, and lessening the scaffolding that we put in place over the last 3 years during student learning. Our main target is that we want every student at Taylorsville to know what to do when they're placed in a situation that no one's there to help them. We want them to know what to do when no one's around. And that's not just an academic situation, but that is in life in general. And Dr. Griffin, if you could please, I'd like to play, we have a positive growth mindset and mantra that our grades 3 through 5 are currently using, or you can click it there, Dr. Helton, should be pretty easy. And just listen to what they're saying. That's just a small snippet of what our grades 3, 4, and 5 are practicing and saying as we are working on building stamina with them to push through. You know, kids are very, they're okay for about an hour, but that test can sometimes be 4 hours long, and so we're pushing them to have that in their mind and to be thinking, when it gets hard, I'm going to push through this. Walk into a classroom at Taylorsville, and we hope that you can feel the rigor. We allow students to wonder and to question and sometimes experience frustration, but we do that out of a sense of love and trust and community. It's perhaps one of the hardest things that our teachers have to do, or any of us as a parent, not to rescue or helicopter around our children, but to allow them to be uncomfortable. Building stamina and positive growth mindsets are critical to our success, not just at Taylorsville, but in any work situation in any school that students may face. Our curriculum instructor, Kelly Teese, offers PD almost weekly during our school or during PLCs. Our staff often lead our PD as well. After all, who are the professionals? The teachers. And we go to each other constantly to seek advice and to seek strategies. There's so much going on in all of our schools within the system, it can be easily overwhelming. At Taylorsville, we have taken an attitude of perfecting 1 or 2 and doing those things really, really well, and then adding to that so that we can have more tools in our toolbox to share with our students. But you can see on this list here, our non-negotiables, our attendance monitoring by our social worker and the addition of those social workers in the schools have been critical. An active behavior system in place. And the Cub Cafe, I'm going to speak about that in just a second. We protect our academic reading and math blocks fiercely, 90 minutes every day. Consistent data meetings and discussion of data in PLCs. You've heard several schools talk about that speaking in complete sentences. We do that at Taylorsville. And writing every day in every class and every activity. The use of treasure and rap and drawing in our lower grades are strategies that we use to help those students develop those skills and build that strong foundation. And then, of course, the implementation of our one-to-one Chromebooks has been integral in a lot of our success through research and products that the students are producing. Ongoing PD for teachers, by teachers. It's powerful. It all works together, and it's working well at Taylorsville. We want our students to have multiple tools to pull from so that it's impossible for them to fail. And we want them to be prepared so that when they go to the middle school, it's impossible for that middle school to fail, and it's impossible for that high school to fail, and it's impossible for them to fail once they reach secondary education. But that's not all we do at Taylorsville. It's not all academic. The social and behavioral things that we do have a focus, and it works in tandem with our academics. For this year, our focus is to continue that community involvement. And what I've tried to instill in our students is that servant's heart, the want and willingness to give back to a community that has so willingly given and supported our school over the years. Positive steps towards that include the addition of a full-time community and schools person, Kelsey Farrell. She has been a wonderful addition to our school campus. Our 5th grade teachers, which I did some grade level switching around at the beginning of the summer, and those 5th grade teachers that are in place now, they have taken that 5th grade and launched a character club, and they are working monthly with our mobile cafe, which it serves over 200 meals each week to folks in need in our community. Our 4th graders, of their own thought and idea and accord, wanted to, during February this year, they sacrificed having their own holiday Valentine's party and came in with donations and returned those gift baskets to our local law enforcement, and took that to them, and that was very positively received in our community. Our 3rd grade, they are working within the walls of the school in conjunction with Kelsey, our communities and schools person, within a kindness club, and they do some things among the school building to encourage each other and to encourage the students and our teachers. School-wide, we have, of course, the canned food drive during the fall, and this winter, in January, when we returned from the holidays, we did a winter warm-up, and our students collected coats for a week, and there was probably close to 75 or 100 coats that was brought in, either brand new or gently used, that our kids took to DSS for kids in foster care. So our kids understand what that means to have a servant's heart. Their belief in the power to make a difference and to have a positive growth mindset are key factors to the awesome community that is Taylorsville and the family feeling that we have. It's a great place to grow and learn. We are very thankful for ongoing supports that were already in place long before I got there, and will hopefully be there long after I'm gone, which I hope is not soon. But those include, creating a safe space for students. Guys, learning can't happen until the kids feel safe and that they know they're cared for and that they know they're loved. And we do everything we can. I did a very eye-opening PD with my staff in September about toxic stress and what a lot of our students experience on a daily basis. And so the importance of having our school be a beacon for those students, that when they walk in that door, they know they don't have to worry about anything while they're there. And it's powerful. Finally, the last thing that I want to talk about tonight is the Cub Cafe. This is something brand new we started just this year. Sometimes it's called Lunch with Miss Lingle. And it has been by far the best thing that's happening at Taylorsville right now. It is simple, doesn't cost any money, and what I've learned, it's a monthly celebration of just good character traits. We have a character trait of the month, and the students are nominated by their teachers, and it could be there's a bus rider of the month as well. And they are welcome to come, and we transform our multi-purpose room, which is usually full of folded tables and chairs and boxes of paper, and we transform it into the Cup Cafe. And I give all the credit to Chris Belcher, who just has a magic about her that can make that stuff happen. And we dim the lights and play music, and those kids come in and they sit down with me during their scheduled lunchtime. It's not a loss of any class time, but it's for about 25 minutes, and they just sit down with me, and we just have lunch. And we serve them a special drink and a dessert of a cookie or something, and it's just a little bit different, but it's the same old mac and cheese and fish sticks every Thursday. But they think it's all about presentation, and they think that it's just the best thing since sliced bread. And so, but I've learned that it's not gadgets and stuff that they want, it's your time. And Dr. Hefner's had the pleasure of coming, and it's powerful. You know, it tells us we don't talk, but roar is our mantra. And that means respect others and accept responsibility. And we don't just say it, we walk it every day. And I'm so thankful and grateful for this opportunity. And I hope you're as proud of this staff and students as I am. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. And this is how I broke my leg. If anybody wants to say. We were ziplining at a field trip we'd taken the 5th graders, and just a freak accident, and nobody's fault, just happened. But the pictures in the center and the right are actual students from Taylorsville Elementary that were on that high ropes course that day, and they had a blast. You talk about conquering some fears and stepping out of their box. They did it, and I was so proud of them. So anyway, can I answer any questions for you guys? Didn't mean to make everybody cry, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
I love what I do, and I thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
It's okay with y'all, I'm gonna make not a quick exit, but
Thank you, Janelle.
You're going to a ball game probably.
I'm going home. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle.
Okay, we'll move to our superintendent's report, and I will ask Dr. Jennifer Hefner to do the report.
Thank you, Chairman Bowman. Board members, this is also attached in your agenda if you want to take a look at it. The first thing that I want to talk about is a very important event in our school system, and I would ask that you mark your calendar for Thursday, May 31st. We are going to hold the annual school system staff retirement reception and recognition at the ACS Cafeteria on May 31st. That will begin at 6 o'clock. If you remember, we talked last year about separating this event from the June board meeting, since changing locations for that monthly meeting has caused some difficulties in getting materials over to the high school. And as I recall, everyone was in favor of doing that. All school administrators will be notified of this change also. We meet next Tuesday, but I would ask that you go ahead and mark your calendar for May 31st. My second bullet is the National Association of Secondary School Principals and the American Federation of School Administrators have declared the week of April 9th through the 13th as National Assistant Principals Week to honor and recognize the contributions of assistant principals to the success of students in schools across the United States. I hope you will make time this week to extend a special thank you for all that our assistant principals do for the students in Alexander County. I've reached out to Crystal Hoke and have the following dates as options for a board visit to Ellendale Elementary School. The dates that were good for her: Wednesday, April 25th, Thursday, April 26th, or Tuesday, May 1st. Please look for an email from me later this evening, and when you reply, if you would be so kind as to reply all when communicating your availability for any or all of these dates. My fourth bullet. As a result of the email from Rick French received on March 7th requesting that the early college be relocated out of the Applied Technology Building, I reached out to Mr. Brett Fansler, Executive Director at CVCC's Alexander site, to ask about moving all classes of our early college into the main building after the school year concludes. Mr. Fansler has made this proposal and has a meeting scheduled with Dr. Keith Mackey, the Vice President at CVCC, and Ken Elliott, the Chief Operations Officer at CVCC, on Thursday to discuss this proposal. I hope to have an answer by Friday about the future location of the early college, and I am hopeful that we can make that switch work and have them in the main campus. The Little Reid Family and Community Event is planned for Saturday beginning at noon at Lenoir University's P.E. Monroe Auditorium. Teresa Smeeks has provided an invitation to each of you. You should have found it at your seat tonight. And we want to recognize our art and writing winners on stage, and then I'm going to make a special presentation to one county writing winner at the event on Saturday. If you want to attend, I would invite you to ride with me because it is a fun and very special event, and the fifth graders, they'll enjoy that a lot. And then the last thing I want to say is thank you to the board members and staff who joined me last night as I presented our budget for the 2018-19 year to the commissioners. I, of course, made a request to the commissioners and just appreciated your attendance at that meeting, so thank you. Do you have any questions? Nope. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to new business, and I will call Sharon McCaffey up for policy revisions.
I'm sorry.
We have 7 policies this month that are up for revision, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have, and we'll let those stand until next month. So if there are any comments or changes.
And I think you, Sharon, you have first readings that you can start with?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 2 policies that are up for first reading this month. These, they're policies, but they're actually a list of policies that deal with student initiatives, policy 1400, and professional development, policy 1600. And it's the policies that we have that deal with those 2 areas. Since this is not a major new policy, or there's no really logistics to it, I ask for approval on first reading.
Okay, board, what's the pleasure? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve policy 1400 and 1600 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say yay.
Yay.
Any noes? And that carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And believe it or not, I think that's it. The board will now enter into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a good week. Wow, that was short.
Yes.
That may be a record.